Hello beautiful yogis, Veronique here with our September yoga video tutorial. With the hurricane about to come to the east coast of Florida, hence why my little yoga studio is free of basically everything. Storm shutters are up and we are taking precautions even though it's looking good at this moment. I thought it would be a really good time to find a comfortable seat. It's a really great place to practice breath with intention. Oftentimes in times of stress, when it feels like there's anxiety around the unknown, things that are out of our control, it's really a great place to find a seat or a posture where we can find control over the breath. Oftentimes in times of stress, you might notice that your breathing becomes really shallow or you hold your breath. And so one of the really great ways to self-soothe and find calmness in your body is to slow the breath down. And really elongate the inhales and the exhales, breathing into the belly. So I'll give a few options for the seat. I know this might seem really basic, but maybe you might find a seat that is more comfortable. Oftentimes, if we're struggling to find a meditation that is restful, it's usually an indication that the physical self needs to find a release first before the mental self can find some release as well. So our first option is to find our Sukhasana easy seat. You might want to find a cushion. You can use a couch cushion or a pillow from your bed if you don't have a meditation cushion. And depending on how tight your hips are, you might have your knees high up. So I encourage you to build a little perch for yourself as high as you need to, so that your knees can release lower than your hips. And that will encourage blood to flow into the feet so that your feet don't fall asleep during your meditation. And then it allows for your knees to rest into something so that your hip flexors can find some respite as well. So if your knees are up in space, a couple great tools. If Mr. Bowery will move out of the way, you want to come here? It's a good boy. You might have blocks underneath your knees. You know, you can adjust the height. That actually feels really nice. Or alternatively, you could stack a block or two under your seat, and that allows for a really nice opening through the hips as well. We're wanting to find a space where the shoulders can stack over the hips, where the hands can fall to the lap really comfortably, and you're able to find a really nice long neck, and so the breath can flow really easily. One of my favorite seats lately is actually Virasana. So if your knees and your ankles are agreeable to this shape, or maybe they just need a little bit of elevation, one of the great things to use is a block underneath the seat. I like to have it on the first setting, so it's most stable. If you need it to be higher, then you can just place a second block on top of it. The block will go in between the feet so that you can sit down comfortably. If it feels like you're still experiencing some tension in the calves, it's nice to just take your calf and turn it out. That actually provides a lot of relief. You can do that with each calf, and then you're able to find some release there. Alternatively, if you have a bath towel, you can roll that up and place it behind the knees, and that will create a lot of release if you have any tension in your knees, or if you have really tight calves. So you can find a comfortable seat here as well. If neither of those seats are comfortable for you, I really encourage you to find a chair. The ideal is that your back is all the way up against the back of the chair and your feet are fully rooted on the earth. If you're in a chair where your feet do not touch the ground, you can place your blocks underneath your feet. That's a really great way to find grounding, both in the back body, through the hips, and then grounding down through your feet as well. If you do really like the floor and you just want a little bit of added support for the back, you can just come to a wall, and that's a really great place to be. And then once you've found your seat, you can pause this video, maybe you sample each one. We'll just find a really gentle breath here. This is just a really nice, simple meditation technique. You might already be familiar, but it's always a really great time, whether there's a hurricane or just maybe a storm in the mind, right? If the mind is racing, if thoughts are overcoming your ability to find a state of peace in your mind, this is a really great, simple meditation to come to. You could do this every morning as a way to enter the day with some ease and a bit of calmness for you. So you'll either have a soft gaze, or if it feels comfortable, you can close the eyes down. To begin, just observe your breath. And observe your thoughts. And observe your posture. And really subtly start to send your breath deep into the belly. So if it helps you, maybe you place one hand on your heart and one hand on the belly. Begin to allow the rise and fall of the chest to dissipate. And rather send the breath to the belly. And on your own, I invite you to simply count each breath. You can count to 5. Make that commitment of just focusing on the breath for 5 breaths. And once you feel like you are complete, maybe you find that you can count to 10 or maybe 20. And with each inhale and each exhale, I invite you to sip in a little bit more. And exhale a little bit more. And once you feel ready and not a moment before, you can begin to blink the eyes open. Take in your surroundings. And observe. Finding just a little bit more space to find softness in the mind and in the body. Thank you so much for watching our September yoga video tutorial. Namaste.